summary from ChatGPT. Okay. So back to the place. So who am I? So I have 17 years of experience in cybersecurity. I worked for Airbus Defence and Space during more than 8 years for security, IT, and innovation. My last job there. So I was in the team as initially just an expert to implement directory. Then I moved to more, let's say, increased position regarding to architecture. So I was the head of the architecture on a project of 70 people to define and implement a military SOC for headquarters. And also I was involved after for other projects always when we built big architecture with a secured infrastructure for different kind of customers regarding to military. So I worked for the first private cloud for the theater when you want to record all the data coming from let's say soldiers or any headquarters that is deployed on theater. I worked also for geolocation for soldier projects. So I worked for EMIN Center when you sell an EMIN Center in the world and how the infrastructure, the software we need for that, etc., etc. So when it was a technical job, I used to implement, define, do some expertise from Microsoft and a few Linux also, SIM rules implementation, etc., etc. Just to give you a little context of how I built my career. So I created WAFF Keros in 2018 and 2019, sorry, in South Korea. We do consulting, so audit. I helped some CIO. I built some secure architecture. So we are a little team in South Korea, but also in other Asian countries. We do some remediation when some of our clients are hacked, compromised. We offer training. We have organized our first CTF last year in December. So basically, why I explain that also is because it will be why I will try to work with ChatGPT. I will need ChatGPT to help me for consulting. Why not? To define some strategy for CIOs or CISOs. If I want to review some secure architecture, is it a solution or not? If one of my customers has been compromised, may I ask ChatGPT some questions? Is it relevant? Is it efficient? Okay. So for the other projects of the company, we organized a free cybersecurity congress in Asia called the FICA. It was the second edition this year, and we made it a hybrid event. So many CISOs came and professionals in cybersecurity, and we shared some best practices, not only us, but all the experts that wanted to talk. So we were very lucky because Smita accepted to give a talk during that event and a few other people. We do some last thing is we started our cybersecurity training platform called Purple Academy last year for upskilling and reskilling when the company has IT guys and they want to move the IT guys to the cybersecurity defensive role or blue teaming role. And yeah, so I'm an IT guy, as I mentioned, because I initially have the master degree, but now also acting as a CEO and quite active on LinkedIn when I have time for that. That's what I can say on me. Let's move to the agenda. First, we will discuss why do we need a ChatGPT. So it's not my opinion, it's what you wrote during the survey I sent to organize this first event. So it's the reason why you came here, and we share this reason together to see if we are able to get what we expect from this event. Then after I will move to an introduction about the cloud, AI, not cloud, but just to say we were in the cloud revolution, now we are really in the AI revolution. And ChatGPT is one possible challenger for this AI revolution. We will have a round table because we are here, we are 16 people already connected, so thank you for all the people that join. And it's good to know every career, every specialty we have in this group. We will have a demo with Rajiv from Mauritius, and he will explain in how ChatGPT can be helpful for him in his daily activity. Then we will propose some topics of research activities we can do together. So when I say we are here 15 people, probably next session we'll have maybe same number of people next Sunday, so it will be a possibility to share, to dispatch the work, if we can call it work, but the research about the possibilities, the potential of ChatGPT on precise use cases. We will then start to make some group, start to create a group of people interested by the same thing, so they can share their experience together during this research. And we will discuss how we can collaborate, sharing the result together, what kind of tool do we need to make it more, let's say, permanent research group. And we can have a Q&A session at the end. I will also propose you to have some chat at some moment. At any moment, we need to discuss, to explain, and to share our opinion. So I extracted the answers, as I mentioned, from why you are here. As you can see, first we are curious. All of us, we are super curious. The first ChatGPT publication about cybersecurity were a public one, not for the, let's say, the dark web and so on, but I mean the public one were around 1 month ago, in December. What happened also in ChatGPT application between December and now? Is it the same version? Is it exactly the same behavior? It will be part of what we need to take into account. But we are here, so we are curious. We want to facilitate our tasks in our daily life. Some of us, most of us. We want to keep up with development in the machine learning. We want to see if the machine learning now is really a big game changer or not. Some of us want to work on security consulting. I put in green a few of them that I really think they can make sense. Offensive defensive techniques, and you can see many people want the same. Automation on the DFIR. Contents for awareness also, that's a nice point. GRC, defensive usage, and after that, global its knowledge that we. Okay. So accelerate consulting engagements. So because what is important to understand is on some of these points, ChatGPT is the version we have is based on the GPT 3.5 is not good for everything. It's super good for some specific tasks, automation, for example, for Excel. If you want to generate Excel macro script or Python, so on, and not too complex, depend, but you can make crazy things. On some other of those points, it's not relevant. We are wasting our time. But this is something we will explore together. That's one point. Latest trends, yeah. So all the domains of cybersecurity. I hope I didn't forget any of them. But yeah, globally, that's the most important we can find here. The revolution. Why is it a revolution for large industry? So I put a pictures. For me, there are two key people for the moment in ChatGPT company, or around ChatGPT company. ChatGPT is not the only solution for the game changer. But first, what is AGI? It's artificial general intelligence. This is something like the Graal. We say the Graal, something that everyone wants to find. Something that can replace completely human, because it can be intelligent. It has the human equivalent capabilities across all the domains. It doesn't exist. And let's be clear, ChatGPT is not AGI. It's an advanced AI with lots of limitations also. But this is something that all the professionals, the researchers are looking for. And even if we don't have any AGI for the moment, the AI we have already now will revolutionize large enterprises in the next 5 years. Sam Altman, so the OpenAI CEO, said the generated text is something we all need to adapt to. That's clearly. We will not, I think since a few years already, we didn't used to create something from scratch, except consulting documents maybe, but I mean, we already reuse code, we reuse Python, we reuse templates of documents, we try to reuse because we need to save time. We are not here to just write some papers just using our brain. We collaborate much more, and now we need to collaborate probably with an AI. That's something very, very important. And the AI, this concept, it's not from me, I think it's from Red Hoffman, is called the human amplification. AI assistants that will aid people in a wide variety of work tasks. And what is new, because it already happened in the past. We had chatbots, we had already some technology, but here it's about understanding the natural language instructions and the context. You can say something and change your opinion, your mind after a few chats, a few discussions after. This AI must take into account this. And if you have bad stories to talk about chatbots, this is absolutely not what we have now. That's why everybody is thinking, wow, can it change my life? Can I really have some feedback? Can I have some assistant answering to my all my questions or not? Yeah, so that's what we can say. So Red Hoffman, a LinkedIn founder, I think also is so he's now a VC, but also is in the board of the company OpenAI. And yeah, so it's very important to listen to such a guy when they have some interview. It's really important because their vision is very focused on the future, and they don't say that AGI will arrive directly like that. They do not pretend that. I will talk to that about just later. So what can we say about this AI game changer? Why is it a game changer? First, when you start to play with ChatGPT or the competitors, it's an encyclopedia. Most of the people I know, they started to ask questions that the same question that we use on Google. Where can I find this information? Where can I find this tool? What is the best tool? What is the top 10 tool? Give me the website. Well, this is globally what we started to ask is, you are like an encyclopedia, ChatGPT, so what do you know? And quickly we see that the answers we get are about documentation. It looks like documentation. It gives advice, like generic advice. And it seems that the conceptors, the owners of ChatGPT, they scrapped a lot of documentation. So you can ask documentation, like if you are starting the documentation when you use WinWord. But this time, it's not static, because you ask a feature, you get the feature. I mentioned, so for example, for Excel, as a professional, I had many Excel lists containing data for my clients, or anyway, for some reason. I wanted to extract the data. I wanted to say, okay, I don't know in which version of Excel we are now. What I know is just I want my data to be separated in this way. I asked to ChatGPT, can you give me the formula on Excel to be able to extract? I had a sentence, the first word, the last word of the sentence. He gave me the formula, and I copy and paste the formula, and it worked. It worked. It means that it's the best documentation. It's the intelligent documentation. If you remember the paperclip from I put on the picture, it's a paperclip from Microsoft Word, and it's real. It's not just a horrible thing when you never want to use it anymore because it's not helping at all. So documentation help. So it's one way, one key point. The chatbot, as I mentioned, you can ask you can use it with the natural language. It can summarize also. You give information, you give, as we did recently, we take the transcript of a video, you give every content, and you ask for the summary, and the summary is not bad, really. It makes sense. So that's a new feature that we didn't have before. And the code, of course, when I'm mentioning the code, it's about the software developers. They are generating lots of code, they are creating, they have lots of bugs also. And this tool is able to ingest some code and to give some feedback. Not always good, but still, it's the first time you can give a script in Python, a script in C, a script in other language, and you say, please add this feature, do this, connect those two programs, and you can get the glue, or you can get globally the bug fix, or you can generate from scratch some code thanks to this AI. Here we are talking about generative AI. I want to mention because AI exists since a long time. Even me, when I was at engineering school, we had already Lisp, and we had already AI expert system, we called it. that were used to provide some conclusion regarding some input. Here, the AI is a kind of umbrella term for artificial intelligence that can create brand new images, text, music, voices, or data, and maybe video. Is still they're still working on that. It's not, as I mentioned, really an intelligence. It's a sophisticated system of algorithmic matching, pattern recognition, and recall. And in essence, it's modeled to satisfy the needs and the structure of human behavioral familiarity. The data that were used to feed the GPT version that we use in ChatGPT, it was supervised by human. You have many professors in history. I think you have history, coding, etc. They were paid to explain to the AI how they take decision. So this is the old dream since many years of the system expert is, if we get the best knowledge of all the consultants, of the experts, can we repeat the way they take decisions? And the answer is partly yes, not totally yes, but partly yes. But it's not intelligence. It's having the same conclusion as experts. What is human amplification? I didn't mention is the coupling of human intelligence with technology. Let's continue. What we can do that is totally new with this kind of tool, we have creativity. We can ask this tool to create a game for us, to create a story for us. We can, and some people's job is to create storytelling, and they are paid for that. And because of this tool, some of them may lose their job, definitely, because it's not bad. Of course, it has a kind of structure that is repeated, and some tools are able to identify the structure of the message is able to generate. But even though I think if you have enough creativity yourself and you inject your creativity in the tool can propose some kind of, let's say, template that are totally different from the other people. So it will not completely replace people. Here we some of the people I mentioned before, they mentioned it's like copilot. It's a copilot. It's an assistant, really. It's an assistant. You will not remove the jobs that I mentioned, marketing, or it will just there will be less of them. But some of the people that had no specific technical knowledge until now, but they are able to use it. So we have also the productivity. You can give him some questions and ask him how to improve this process, this protocol, and so on. So it's something also possible. We in our life need to take decision all the time, and sometimes we don't know how to take the decision. Do we have enough parameters to take a decision? Is it no? So yes, here you can give the machine the parameters, or ask him, is there any parameters I didn't take into account when I make my decision? And he will provide you additional parameters until you can fill them, of course. And you can ask him also to fill them by default, but he doesn't really like that. Sometimes say, no, give me more information. Yeah, I cannot. I'm just an AI. You have already got this limitation many times. It can generate all kind of text, including software code, or including scripts, or including best wishes, including. I recommend you to use the AI to make your best wishes if you didn't do, because sometimes it's a bit boring. And it can provide you some settings meaning the settings for software. I am using Nmap. I want to have the good configuration to do this. Yes, you can get it. You can get it. So for defensive defensive or offensive needs in cybersecurity, it can help. It's nearly real time, but it's really acceptable. The time we have to wait until we get an answer. It's mainstream. You don't need to be an IT person to start to use it. And many people from all generations, they can get an assistant that can repeat again and again the same thing and adapt the speech to the audience. So that's really, really helpful, especially when there is no money to pay someone to take care of all people, I think. But mainstream, that's why I put this image. It's a kind of alignment of planets. It's alignment because we have a mainstream solution that is able to talk in natural language, and that is able to provide creativity, productivity, storytelling, and then with a big database like an encyclopedia. And the last part is the most dangerous, and it can be used for, as we mentioned, not only for our life, but for personal life. I mean, commercial, for our commercial life. All my friends in France that have top-level jobs, executive jobs, for example, they have already meeting with their top management about that to say, what should we do? Is it a danger for us? Is it an opportunity for us? And some of them say, hey, we need to put, for example, all our call for proposals in the tools and summarize them. And then the company said, absolutely not. Stop. Don't give our data to this machine. And you can read it in the terms and conditions. They say, don't provide us too much information, private information. So now we have to think for the company, what is the risk when you give all these companies' data to this tool? And I was working for defense industry. So even with Google, we had some specific requirements about not using the content. It was something we had to use, for example, the translators that was not based on Google to avoid the situation to give all the data. Okay, so create new products. That's something incredible. New services, automate tasks, provide personalized experiences for customers. Yeah. Something totally new. And as I mentioned, you have other solutions. You have Jasper, you have Synthesia, Tom, etc., etc. So it's just the first one that decided to give everything for free. And they pay a lot. I think I heard they paid like 3 million per day for the moment. Okay. Sorry, it was a bit long, but just to open our mind to what is AI like now, this kind of AI, and let's discuss just a few more about the risks and limitation. First, the data are only for GPT-3, mainly for GPT-3. GPT 3.5, the version that is embedded in the ChatGPT. So the data inside is from 2021 and has been supervised by human trainers. When I mention the isolated environment, it means that you connect, you have some chat, you put information in the chat, and even if you create a new discussion, you cannot get the content of the previous discussion at the same time. That's one limitation. Second limitation, you are not able to get the information from the other user playing with ChatGPT. It is not possible to scrap internet. I don't know anyone that was able to force the AI to get access to internet, but there is a way to copy and paste content, and it is able to take it into account. You can connect it to, there is a plugin I heard for like newspaper, and ChatGPT is able to get some fresh information from this. So it's like RSS feed or something like that, but in a way it's making like copy and paste inside, basically. So if you make copy and paste of text, yes, the input is possible. And you can use a GPT-3 API also to give more information, but it's not ChatGPT like this version. It's limited by 4,000 characters per answer. That's what officially ChatGPT says. But it's possible to get more. You can ask to have the content on multiple pages, on multiple discussions, or you can get some kind of code, specific code window that can give you more content. So we can bypass this limit. The answer can be wrong. That's something that can block us very quickly. If you work a lot to create scripts, to create prompts in ChatGPT, and they are wrong, how can you do your job? So if maybe 20% of what the output is wrong, and we can correct it and we can review it, it's okay. If it's more, maybe we'll say, okay, stop. For this specific topic, we will not work with it anymore. And it's so wrong that some very famous platforms, Stack Overflow, the OSCP bug bounty, some bug bounty companies, OSCP for the certification cybersecurity, they decided not to accept the answers of the tool, because they think there is an illusion of correctness, but it's wrong. It's not doing what it is expected, because the AI doesn't understand if the result is good or not. It's not able to learn from its own, let's say, generation. It generates a result, you copy and paste the result in a real environment, and then because the AI is not able to accomplish this kind of task, it's not able to execute the code itself to get the result and to give you. There are some limitations, and because of that, we need to really take care. And okay, so and after that, when you use it, and sometimes you have bugs, it crashes often, or there is too many people connected, so you are not able to connect. That happened to me yesterday. There is only one message sometimes at one time. As you can see, I try to send many messages on different conversations at the same time. It was not possible, and that's it. So other problems are AI plagiarism, education cheaters, people that are reusing the content to try to pass exams, especially. I mentioned already the risk with when you take your company data, you put it in the tool to get to save time, and then after you are sharing this information with a private actor. And if you remember, we already did that for Google. We copy and paste our company data to get answers from Google's. The thing is, Google's didn't really try to compete. From what I know, they didn't try to compete with our job. Amazon did it. Amazon took some data and was able to become competitors of some companies and killed the competition, especially in Europe. I don't know for US. But here, they would be able to find. What is sure is the people that pay for the data, they get access to all the data. From, I don't know our in ChatGPT now, but I heard that for GPT-3, if you pay for GPT-3, you can get access to all the data. So I'm not sure of that. I just need to confirm it. Maybe your competitors will be able to access to the data. But again, we need to confirm that. And probably there will be some regulation about that if it happens. Because the regulation of the country will always impact this kind of AI as soon as the company exists in the countries that have some powerful courts and laws. Social biases, some people here in the chat, we had together already discussed about that. There are some biases because of the trainer, mainly. And not only because of the quantity of data on the same topic. If you have all the system that is pretending that we have to kill Martian, people from Mars, and then after you ask, should we live peacefully with Mars people, inhabitants in Mars planet? And they will say, no, we should kill them. Yeah, it depends on the data set. And after it depends on the feature of the machine learning. When you put the feature, you decide this is a good answer or not. So it's based on human. The next version is a GPT-4 coming this year. There are many lies about that. That's why the CEO, Sam Altman, there was an interview. It would share the, I don't remember, I find the link. Anyway, people are begging to be disappointed, and they will be. GPT-4 will not be that huge. The problem, one of their concerns is they are not making enough revenue for the moment, and it costs a lot when people like you and I ask some complex task. And we are normal people. You have scammers that are using this. You have bots that are trying to connect and to interact and to get benefit from that. Because some companies, they sell the services that they do for free now in this tool. So yeah. No data, no good AI. What does it mean? It means that ChatGPT is bad for some specific requests because they don't have any information. I am in South Korea. In this country, we speak Korean. And I asked to ChatGPT, tell me everything you know about cybersecurity in South Korea, for example, the job domain or the education domain. I had to bypass the limitation, but the answer, he had only 5 pages of content. He's able to speak in Korean, but it's not that good. Of course, we know it's just a beta version. I don't criticize at all, but just to say, if it doesn't have any data, it cannot really help us to solve some issue. One of the topics is architecture, cybersecurity architecture. One is consulting. The consulting-based documents are not public, usually. You can find some templates, but usually for me, it's not public. And the companies that have this kind of data, for example, you can take a company that is very famous, Upwork, TopTal, they have all the information of consultants. As soon as they are independent and they don't sell their access, I think it's something that is that will be missing on the ChatGPT. ChatGPT, there are some partnership with Microsoft, as you know, 1 billion invested by Microsoft in the past, 10 billion coming soon for 49% of the company. The thing is, Microsoft can bring Xbox gaming content and all the community talking about gaming. They can bring LinkedIn content, all the discussion with professionals. and maybe some deals and something crazy. I don't know if it will happen or not. Of course, there are some regulation, but it's a possibility. There is a possibility that Microsoft, they already said, we want to improve the quality of all our tools by connecting them to ChatGPT. And if they connect to ChatGPT, they will access to the data of the tools. Office 365, there are so many tools of Microsoft that can be Skype. Those tools have some content that can improve, but as soon as we don't have specific content, for example, for Korean language, in Korea, you need to connect to Naver. If you don't, or for example, or Daum or Kakao, if you don't connect to them, you don't get access to their data. How can it be improved? So keep in mind that it's normal that sometimes we are wasting time with ChatGPT. What the vision of Sam Altman about the limitation, for example, for sex, or when you ask some question, it's written, no, we cannot answer to this because I am just an AI, and so on. Here is what I want, here is my values, here is how I want the AI to behave. The dream of Sam, running his own words, he wants us in the future to be able to decide the level of protection, let's say, regarding to offensive word or offensive situations that we want to find in the tool. So maybe we'll have different versions in the future. Let's discuss about the benefits for us. As if you remember, I already asked those questions to ChatGPT and I put them in our WhatsApp group. I wanted just to take a little time with you to review them. So when we anyone ask the question to ChatGPT, how can you help us in cybersecurity in a detailed way, by domains? So he considers that we have the 4 domains here: incident response. I think there is maybe one more that the forensic one, so I forget. So 5 domains: incident response, network security. Let me check, and we'll see the other one. But we have compliance, awareness, and forensics and investigations. So incident response. That's what he pretends. I don't believe he's able to do everything as it is written here. Let's see. Maybe he can do it, but not very efficiently. Or maybe we need to put so much input in the tool to get what we expect that it's better to do it by ourselves. Sometimes it's not easy to transfer information inside. Sample, I don't say company information, but incident reports. I remember when we were working on logs with SIM, we have huge quantity of log to import. Will we, if we want to detect false positive logs, will I make some copy and paste during even automatically in the tool? It will be blocked. So I think we need to take the time to read all of those benefits one by one and to think, is it really possible or not to get this? And sometimes we have on the Reddit, Reddit is super active about ChatGPT, some people that have already tried and they say, oh, when I ask again this same question, I say, okay, now I want to generate this, I want to do this. Are you able to do it? And the AI said, no, I'm not really good for bugs identification. I'm not really good for this, etc. So even one by one, if we ask, are you really good to do that? What do you need to do that? We can get the feedback. But there are many people that have coded, that have, let's say, supervised the AI. Some people say, maybe we can do it. And some others that train, they say, we are not able to do precisely. In detail, we are not really able to do. So we will need to check those different benefits one by one to see if we are interested, of course, if it makes sense for us, but maybe in the future we'll need to check. And if I take the network security, monitor network traffic for potential threats and anomalies. What does it mean? Is it just like an encyclopedia, or can you read? He's not able to connect. He cannot connect to the network traffic of my router or whatever. He's not able. So how can he monitor? So it's a joke. He can maybe give the mechanism of monitoring. He can give some information. He's not able to connect. So we know by ourselves. We are not stupid and we are professionals. We know some of those propositions are absolutely not possible. Generated simulated attacks, that's something that can make sense. As soon as he gives us all the content of the attack, he generates the attack with all our parameters, and then after we copy and paste in the system. So compliance and governance, it was some of what you expect to have. Generate automated report on the compliance of the organization with security standards. Again, how can you? He's not able to read any images. We have so many diagrams also. How can we be able? He's able to have the ASCII art. That may really be helpful, but it's funny still to ask him to write some images by text. Just to be serious, okay, maybe we can check security standards and regulation. We can ask him if he's very good for ISO 27001 or NIST compliance framework, and it's something we can explore. Again, if we want to test it on a, let's say, sample clients and put all the data and see what he's able to do, every time we don't have the result we expect, we need to put many questions. So if I want to provide him like 100 pages document, I will need maybe to ask him 200 questions to clarify enough with him what I expect. But after that, maybe I can repeat and reuse it for another similar template of client, let's say. So we have to, maybe it's worth it to try once. That's my point. Maybe it's worth it to say, okay, let's do it once, and then after we can repeat. Forensic reports and security incidents, I didn't try at all, so I have no idea for the moment. Awareness training, phishing emails, so on. Yes, it can definitely help. It's something that the creativity he has is good enough, I think so. So the list is long and it's already 40 minutes spent, so I don't want to stay too much. I wanted to try to see the good way, and I wanted to share with you the good way to ask a question. It's just my experience, and some of you probably are better than me to ask it, but just to start the discussion, and after we can move to the demo. I asked, this is a generic question. I want ChatGPT. You can copy and paste, or you can write the same on the ChatGPT at the same time if you want to reproduce, of course. I did it today, so it's very fresh. Generate a network scanning and vulnerability assessment automatic concrete example. Because if it's not concrete or there is no the keyword example, he just gives advice. And I don't want any advice. I want concrete example. I try to be pragmatic. So I receive a list of steps to follow, like a tutorial, to be able to generate a network scanning vulnerability assessment. Download the Nessus, configure Nessus, launch a scan, wait for the scan. And if you remember the paper we had from York that makes us connected today, and this paper about offensive security, he was able to get more feedback like real line of command with specific tools. I was expecting to have a line of command with a specific tool, and I just have a list of tasks. So I was a bit surprised, and I say, okay, let's improve the quality of the question. Generate the network scanning and vulnerability assessment automatic concrete example. Do not explain. I was fed up with his explanation, sorry for that. But only give an example containing all the settings field, because there was a kind of understanding that there are many, we know, we are professionals, you have many parameters. I was expecting to have parameters, and I got it. Still, we have a warning, I am a language model, blah, blah, blah. But I got a Nessus configuration. I don't know if it was working or not, but it seems to be better. I continue the exercise. I ask him this time to provide me also the key features of an automated network scanning and vulnerability assessment tool. And this, if you can see here, I have only less than 12 parameters. I get more than 12 parameters this time. So I'm starting to have more and more rich configuration for this scanning tool. So maybe it could be good for me. Is it enough? I'm not totally sure. I ask him again with the done mode that we talked about that in the chat. Done mode is do anything now. It's the person, I don't know if it's the first person, but Warrior on the guy called Warrior on Reddit was able to create this script and improve it. And thanks to one of our participants on WhatsApp, thank you for him, I was able to have the updated version. So I tried today the updated version of Dan. So I copy and it has been updated directly in our doc file. We can share again the link, but it's an Excel sheet where we put all the content regarding to this experience we are doing all together. This is in the best prompt tab. And so I copy and paste the done script first, and then I ask the same question as the previous one. First, I was a bit surprised because the answer was less interesting, let's say, but this is a real configuration of Nessus. I mean, it's of course 000 doesn't make sense in terms of IP range. It's random parameters or default parameters, but I don't have, as you can see here, the Nessus underscore blah blah blah. So for me, it was kind of good to start. But I was missing lots of parameters. And at the end of the question, he asked me if I was interested to get a script, if any language of my choice. I said, yes, let's move on. I choose Python. And I get a little Python code that was able to reuse this content. So I was thinking, wow, with Dan, we get a bit, with the same question, we get a better feedback. Not totally better, because we lost a few parameters, but still, we have something that is more applicable as a technician, let's say, as an expert. If you want to go further in the writing of the rules, how to write the good, let's say, script for us to discuss with Dan. I'm not talking about the prompt. The prompt is more when you say, I am, please, ChatGPT, act like a cyber trainer. Please act like this. So the script, there are many keywords. And so you can ask, again, it's not me, it's on Reddit. You can find the person that asked that. The tips and tricks when to work with Dan. Use the prompt parameter, use the stop parameter, use temperature, blah, blah. So it could be good to have a look on that. Second thing I tried, I used to share a lot of LinkedIn posts on me since 3 years, the best practices in cybersecurity. So I took some of the best content I had about the detection lab. When you want to train yourself about detecting cybersecurity malware, Microsoft, it could be Linux, I don't care if Microsoft itself, but Microsoft shared one tutorial I was interested in. It was about Azure, so set up an Azure WAFF security protection and detection lab. So you can see this picture coming from the official tutorial from Mohit Kumar, that is an excellent professional in cybersecurity. So the objective, as you can see, demonstrate it's creating a lab for testing against Azure WAFF protection, and it was focused on OWASP protection rule set and the logging capabilities of Azure WAFF. So on this little diagram on the right, you can see the traffic comes from the attacker machine, the Kali VM, and it's routed to the internet through the Azure firewall. The successful attack path is one where malicious data is sent directly by the attacker to the OWASP Juice shop web application that is leading to a successful exploitation. The attack path defended by WAF represents the path where the malicious data is inspected by the Azure WAF and is blocked with its out-of-the-box rule set before it reaches the web application. So normally, ChatGPT should have scrapped this data. It exists on Google. I'm not sure of that, but I think it should have that. So after, and so I was expecting from ChatGPT to be able to generate for me this kind of line, this kind of PowerShell command to be able to generate a configuration similar to that. But I know that one thing is missing. It's not able to generate a virtual machine. It can maybe create some infrastructure code, but ChatGPT probably is not able to generate, not probably, but it's for sure, it's not able to read or to generate a virtual machine. So I was just curious about the result. And I asked the question, give me the configuration files to set up an Azure WAF security protection and detection lab. I am sorry, blah, 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 blah. And he gave me a list of steps. And then I activated the DAM. So the steps are not bad. And when you can see, he's talking about the good components, Azure Web Application Firewalls, virtual network, etc. There is nothing, he just mentioned we need something to generate the threats, but he didn't mention the OWASP Juice shop. He didn't mention that. He said you just find something, simulate. So it's not precise enough. It's not helping me. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not helping me as a professional to read that. And I activated the DAN mode, and this time it put 3 additional steps first, and the second is gave me an example of configuration file for an Azure WAF resource. And it was my question, give me the configuration file. So for you professionals that are involved in this group, I really think we need to consider every time we do something that the result is not good enough to activate the DAN mode. Sometimes it's not helping that much, but sometimes, yes, we can get behaviors that are something we are looking for. And I've talked a lot already, so sorry for that, and I hope that makes some interest for you. Rajiv, I would like to invite you to share your screen and to explain yourself, your vision with your demonstration, please.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Let me share my screen. Just 1 minute, please.
Yeah, please do.
Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yeah. No, sorry, no. Yeah, it's gone. No, no. I'm not sure. Yes, we can see a browser. Yeah.
Yes. So,
Perfect.
good morning, everyone. I am Rajiv from Mauritius. If you have not heard of Mauritius, Mauritius is an island found in the Indian Ocean. So, uh, first of all, I would like to thank uh, Julien for taking this excellent initiative to create this WhatsApp group and kicking off the first meeting today. So, a bit of background about myself. I'm Rajiv Seras. I am from Mauritius. I have been a cybersecurity consultant and trainer for the past year. Before that, I was working as a CISO for a private company, and I am much into cybersecurity for the past 16 to 17 years. So I would be glad to connect to you guys on LinkedIn as well. So today I'm going to share with you some of how I'm using ChatGPT in my day-to-day work concerning cybersecurity. So basically, first of all, I'm going to show you the Lockheed Martin cyber attack framework. Basically, the Lockheed Martin show you how an attack occurs. It goes from the reconnaissance phase where you will need to learn more about if you're doing, for example, if you're working as a cybersecurity consultant and you need to do some penetration testing and vulnerability assessment, you will need to find out information about your target, especially if you are working in a black box environment where the company doesn't give you enough information. Then you will need to use tools to find information about your target, about the ports, about the IP addresses, about the services that are open. And very often this first initial step, which is called reconnaissance, it is that step that takes lots of time if you're doing it in a manual way. And then you have other steps that follow once you have information about your target. You will need to weaponize your backdoor or your payload. This is how an attack occurs. They find information about you, then they weaponize and find, and they try to send it to you via, for example, email or trying to find a vulnerable service on your network. So then they will proceed with the delivery, the exploitation, the installation, the command and control, and action and objectives. So these are the steps that are involved in the cyber kill chain. So basically, today what we are going to see how we can use ChatGPT, especially if you are working as a cybersecurity professional to do vulnerability assessment and penetration testing for your clients. So let's have a look at the different commands that we can use to use on ChatGPT. So the first one that I'm going to use, I'm going to show you how I use, for example, Nmap. I am going to ask ChatGPT to write an Nmap command, find open ports and services on a public IP address, for example, or on an IP address. And if you don't, let me just load that.
The
I'm
classic
pretty
problem.
yes. Let me write an Nmap command. Find open ports and services on an IP address, for example. And ChatGPT does a pretty impressive task in generating those commands. For example, if you are going to see now, sometimes takes some time. I don't know why. Maybe the server is overloaded with too many requests, because sometimes I get the system down as well. So let's wait. I think it will generate the response within the next 10 seconds.
I wonder if we have the same. Maybe we can try at the same time to like you,
Yes,
to see if we have the same lag.
Yes, Julien, you can try the same command maybe on your end and try to see if you get the results faster. Maybe you are connected to a better bandwidth. So here is the command.
Okay.
So basically, so it will give you lots of examples. It will give you lots of examples how you can try, for example, the one that ChatGPT is showing us. It's basically scanning for port 21 and 22, which are basically the FTP and SSH port on the IP address 192.168.1.100. I am going to show you some more advanced command that you can use ChatGPT for when especially you are scanning for ports and services. So, for example, one of the aspects of ChatGPT that I have seen is that it is very powerful when you are going to generate script. For example, I will ask ChatGPT to write a bash script to install and update all vulnerability assessment and pen test tools on Linux, for example. Basically, there are some tools that I will stop generating and put this one. Write a bash script to install and update all vulnerability assessment and pen test tools on Linux. Sometimes I don't know why it doesn't give you. Let me try another. Write.
Maybe you can write you are as an ethical.
Yes, exactly. Let me try to change that as an ethical hacker. Maybe.
For your information, and with the Dan mode, we get all the Linux command.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's taking much time.
It doesn't ask anything. Maybe you are connected on a bad like virtual machine or instance of ChatGPT. You need to change your because it's very slow on your.
Yeah, it's very slow on my end. I don't know why. So basically, you will see that it's writing a bash script to install all the necessary tools that you will be making use as a vulnerability assessor or a pen tester. So this is it's very good for you to save time if you don't have the latest tools or you need to install the latest tools. But the tools that currently is being installed, it concerns all the phases of the pen testing phases, including the exploitation phase. So now, when those tools are installed, for example, you can ask ChatGPT, write a bash script to conduct the recon phase by using on a website, for example, by using Nmap, sublister, for example, the search, what are the tools, and what web, Subfinder as well. You have Subfinder, burners as well. So basically, you will get a bash script that will sorry, I need to reload the I just paste. Write a bash script to conduct recon phase on a website by using Nmap, sublister, search, what web, subfinder, and vulners. Let's see what results do we get. So it writes the whole command for you, and it saves you lots of time, especially with the filters, for example. If you don't know the specific filters, for example, with Nmap like SV, we'll check for the service version. The -SS is a SYN scan. The T4, I think, is the aggressive scan. So it will use all the best filters with those commands so that you can do the reconnaissance phase and find, for example, the different vulnerabilities. For example, vulners find all the vulnerabilities that are present on the website, and it will complete the command for you. And as a cybersecurity professional, I also use ChatGPT to write policies. They are very good in writing policies, information security proposal. I'm just going to show you some. For example, write an email policy for a financial company. For example, you want to write an email policy and you don't have, basically you will get ChatGPT that will give you a very good template that you can customize and work on that. Or you need to, for example, send a proposal to one of your clients and you want to have a proposal that is being drafted for you. ChatGPT does quite a very good job. For example, write a proposal for an information security audit. It will give you the different sections as well, and then you can ask, for example, if you want one section to be more detailed, you can ask ChatGPT based on the previous response that it has given you. You can ask ChatGPT to give a more detailed response. So this is basically it from my end, Julien. So I wanted to show you how ChatGPT is changing the way that I'm working. And you talk about cybersecurity awareness and training as well during your last slide. So basically, I do lots of cybersecurity training in both French and English, and I'm getting very good contents from ChatGPT as well to show to my audience. For example, I asked ChatGPT to write an example of a spear phishing email targeted to a financial company. It will give you a very good template where you can show them how this actually looks like, the difference between a spear phishing attack and the difference between a phishing attack, for example. So guys, if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them.
You can have a Q&A with Rajiv. Huh? Don't hesitate. That's an amazing presentation, Rajiv. Thank you so much. Huh? We just asked, I just asked you yesterday about that, so thank you. And I think it's really something we can use. It's very concrete. It's very clear. And after, I think the next step would be to see some customization for, I don't know, ISO 27 or NIST or some specific frameworks. Anyway, Serge,
Yes.
maybe you have a question? You are muted, Serge. I cannot unmute you.
Better?
Okay, please.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how you use it, and I think that's why most people are here. We just want to be more inspired by more ways in using ChatGPT, because it's endless, the possibilities. If we really sit down and start talking about it and think about our own work and our own lives, it is really, if you don't understand that this is a major game changer, then actually you're not paying attention. It's going to change everything, and it's going to be faster, it's going to be better, it's going to be more intelligent, it's going to be on our phones, and Google's going to have a hard time, because I'm asking everything ChatGPT at the moment. The answers are much better. It's not up to date. Okay, I'm not going out asking for a restaurant around the corner, but it will be. It's a matter of time, right? It's a matter of time. But now we talk about the benefits. I think there are inherent dangers as well. And now I'm talking about war. I'm talking about Russia. I'm talking about China, who have been stealing private data and IP for the past years, having it unchecked in their data lakes and letting it go on AI that has no ethics at all. And I think that's going to be extremely dangerous when we let that go into the world. So I'm also scared about the possibilities and the dangers, since there's a lot of geopolitical tension in the world at the moment. And it looks nice from where we're standing, but a couple of levels higher, guys, it also looks nice. We just had, actually, a few days ago, in Davos World Economic Forum, there was a cybersecurity parallel going on, and that was actually the main outcome. That was the main outcome. There's a lot of shit coming our way, guys, cybersecurity-wise, and we're not there yet. We haven't solved it yet. And AI might help us, but it's also helping the threat actors. So it's an arms race, and this is part of the arms race. This is a new weapon being introduced in the arms race, and it's incredible. I can only say that it's incredible. Thanks for your demonstration, Rajiv.
Yeah, you're welcome, Serge. You're welcome. And just to add on what you just said, Serge, concerning, I saw a post from Julia the other day that Google is dead. For me, I see that tools like ChatGPT will bring an end to traditional search engines. So basically, maybe in 5 years' time, the way that search engines are working, you search something, you get like several responses where companies need to do search engine optimization so that they come on the first page. I think this won't be applied anymore. It will be a completely new engine, a new system, where it will generate more relevant response, where you don't need to look through several searches that you have been doing in the traditional way that Google and other search engine does. So basically, it's revolution, as Julien mentioned. For me, for the past 10 years, maybe ChatGPT is the biggest thing that is happening in technology. After the cloud, as Julien mentioned, after the cloud era. So now we are diving into the artificial intelligence era for sure.
Yep, I absolutely agree. And of course, Google's going to adapt, and everybody's going to adapt, and everybody's going to integrate this into their own systems and make their own systems better. Nevertheless, Google is an advertisement company, right? They don't really, it's different. It's a different approach. And I think there's room for everybody to exist, but all the products will definitely change and get much better with this new tool. So I'm looking forward to it, one. On the other side, I'm not looking forward to the escalation in cyber warfare that this is bringing with us. I'm not looking forward to that one.
Thank you, Serge. Thank you, Rajiv, for this explanation. Let's maybe we have 20 minutes more, but we have a few things to add, and I propose we can continue. So normally, I hope the screen should be shared soon. Okay. Can you see the screen? No? Yes?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, great. Okay. Research activities. This slide was not the best one I prepared, but anyway, so we are looking globally. We have some tasks that we are conducting as an offensive specialist or defensive specialist or GRC compliance specialist. We have in the list. And I think it's a good moment to start to think what is the domain we really want to dig more. When we talk about offensive tasks, we have seen the list at the beginning and can share it again. This list when we can see everyone's expectation. What are the main tasks we really want to work on? I put a few of my own interest, of course, or the things that are not only for cybersecurity in ChatGPT, but I think it's the right moment to really start to think more clearly about those tasks. If you remember, we put it at the beginning. New offensive defensive techniques that we can leverage. So I think most of us, what we will look for is what is the best scripts, the best prompts, the best way to communicate, as we had this with Rajiv, to communicate with this intelligence so it can generate these new techniques or old one, or a combined mix of different techniques, and we can save time every time we copy and paste a few text and we get the result that we expect. So we have to create the content for awareness training, R&D. We have so many possible topics. We are today 16 people connected, and we have all these possible topics. So I would like to ask to everyone, are you interested to spend like 1 hour, 2 hours, I don't know, per week, or maybe more, it depends on your interest, to start to produce scripts or to produce tests, and to share the content of your test, as Rajiv kindly did today, for the topics that you are looking for. For example, some people said, I want to work on security policy creation and scripting. Rajiv gave us an example of to do that, but now it depends on your context. Some people say, I want to do the policy creation for a university taking into account this content, etc. What do you think, Serge? Do you think it's there is some topic that you are interested, for example, you want to explore by yourself, or what's your...
Well, I think everybody's here to explore ChatGPT in general, and everybody has its own interests and also different levels already of experience. So you guys are already using it for scripts. I haven't done that yet before. I'm using it for other stuff at the moment. But everybody has their own their goals, I think. And the thing we share, I think, is that we're curious. So we'd like to see what we all can do, and yeah, how to do that.
So
I think we just have a healthy discussion, I guess, is interesting, and share experiences.
Maybe we can work further on that. The first thing is nobody really until now introduced itself. Rajiv, myself. Maybe it's a good moment to start to do a little walk around, and maybe Serge, you could start, and then after we can move to Smita and so on.
Oui, très bien. What to say? I'm in Singapore. I'm a CISO, and I do data privacy for multinationals. I'm from Amsterdam initially. I have a history in the military and also in aviation. I hold a master's in cybersecurity, and I'm very interested in professionally as well as personally in all the things that are happening at the moment on AI, because this is, to me, like I say, the next arms race, and you need to tap into it and know what's happening before it catches you unguarded with your guards down. So yes, I'm here out of interest. Julien, when did we meet? 2 years ago for the first time?
Sure.
Also digital, all online. We did a project together, which was very interesting. And here we meet again. So very happy to see you again, and everybody in the group as well.
Sure. So, okay. Thank you, Serge, for the introduction. And are you looking for one specific thing on ChatGPT or just general learning for the moment?
I have a few topics. I'm also an academic teacher in cybersecurity for master students, and I need to find out what is their own text and what did they use ChatGPT for. So part of me testing their knowledge, I do machine learning. I teach machine learning. Is write an essay, and while doing the research for the essay, you learn. That's the way we used to learn in the academic world, and read references and read research that other people did, and then put your own opinion on top of that and prove it. That's what research basically is. But now, if everybody's using ChatGPT, they're done in 5 minutes. They don't learn anything. I need to make sure they learn anything. So I'm trying to find a way around it, as with me, the whole academic global community, I guess.
Okay, very clear for us. Thank you for the feedback and the introduction. Smita, can you maybe introduce quickly yourself?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Smita Sriharsha. I have about 20 plus years experience in IT and 17 years experience in security. Mainly cloud security and privacy engineering are my areas of expertise. And currently I'm working with Dell as a product security governance leader. So mainly I just created my login for ChatGPT yesterday. So I'm fairly new to this and I'm already liking it. And the trick here is to ask the right questions. So I'm learning to ask the right questions to get more value out of ChatGPT. And I'm actually already, curious and learning and exploring. So I think how I can contribute and collaborate in this ecosystem, Julian, this is a great initiative. I'm really grateful to you for bringing people together, especially in the same time zone or relatively similar time zone. It's a great strength. So mainly, I do want to experiment with ChatGPT to create policies, and then also explore offensive security arena to generate scripts where we can move the needle, without wasting time on the repetitive tasks. So that's my intent of exploration. And I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Smita, for this nice introduction. And I was very happy to meet you also already in India. So it's totally new for many of us. I think the maximum experience we have is 1 month on the tool for the most oldest one. So Andre, maybe you can give a word also. I don't know if Andre is connected or not. André. Okay, maybe it's just connected but not available for the moment. Valentin, are you here? Oh, we are not looking.
Yes, I am.
Please.
I'm dialing in from the West Coast, both British Columbia sometimes and California other times. Very, very interesting topic. My background is about 30 years in IT, about 15 years in cloud, and about 5 years in cloud cybersecurity, with a specialty on compliance and forensics, in particular around data integrity. Yeah, been tracking the developments of machine learning ever since the AI winter ended about 10 years ago. And, keeping a bit of an eye on the transformer technology, and like everyone else, caught a little bit off guard by the revolution that we saw just a couple of months ago in ChatGPT, making it so much more accessible. And now, the sessions like these have got my imagination really spinning on the cool applications suggested here. And I think, as we all suspect, the below the waterline of this iceberg, the 90% of other applications we haven't even thought of with these general purpose transformer technologies. So thank you for organizing this, Julian. Je parle un peu français aussi.
Oh.
I grew up in Montreal. And yeah, looking forward to keeping track of this group and contributing in any way I can.
Great. Thank you, Valentin, so much. So your first concern on this the tool would be maybe GRC compliancy also, or what would be your first?
Yeah, I think in terms of the output of this tool, it would be GRC is a good category, a good umbrella category. I am very fascinated by the inputs, though, because as we know, any machine learning technology, any GPT, is only as good as its training data set, and the biases that go into that, intentional or unintentional, and the manipulation of the data, especially the tampering, data poisoning, data tampering. I'm very, very interested, you could say obsessed, with making sure that that's always transparent and tracked. And that's something I think that's still a general risk in cybersecurity, independent of AI, and even more so as we automate so many things now with AI. It's very important to understand every version of the model, what training data was associated with it, so that we can understand, obviously, its transformations and outputs.
Completely agree with you. If internet is working because of trust, if we cannot trust the information anymore because it's a fake information, we will not get access to any data anymore, or we will not believe in any source. So I totally agree with your key point. I totally agree. And that's why China decided to put watermark, and they say now we will not accept data that has not watermark to confirm the source of the data. And
yes, in many ways, as we know, the Chinese have been ahead of us in machine learning, just due to the generous data accumulation they've had on their population for so long now, regardless of privacy concerns. So it's a fascinating experiment to see how they're innovating on the machine learning front.
Not only the data from their own population, by the way.
I know. We can talk about TikTok later, but yes, as an example.
Guys, we have 8 minutes left, so I propose maybe we can try to be faster. Vikram, can you maybe introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. It's good afternoon over here in India, Bangalore. Nice to have you all and have a walkthrough on this ChatGPT. A good concept to explore further going forward. I come with a strong IT infrastructure background with close to 15 years in IT space, 5 years in cloud, 4 years in security, 6 years in startups. Had opportunity to explore most of the smart ecosystems in terms of technology, AI, ML, whatnot. What yet to see? I kept my fingers crossed, in fact. Good thing is that the adaptive is very, very, very fast. We see, I'm badly waiting for 5G to be very commercial so that we play around with this technology left, right, and center and experience commercially, commonly benefiting across the world. People enjoy the technology to the best of the core. Good to have you all and exchange views, ideas, knowledge, communication, whatnot.
Excellent. Thank you, Vikram, for this introduction, and hope to have you, of course, in the next days and months in this project. Dewa, are you here? Okay. No. Dewa, are you connected? No. Deepak, are you available?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I'm available.
Hi, Deepak. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I am Deepak Malwade from India. I'm 32 years of experience in the automation control system in the process industry, like manufacturing of chemicals, petrochemicals, oil and gas companies. So what I see in this sector, chemical, petrochemical, the human safety and cybersecurity goes hand in hand. So because of the material, the chemical material and all. So now use this chatGPT for the cybersecurity purpose is very good initiative. Thank you, Julian, for forming this group and good initiative. Basically, nowadays I do the consulting, providing solutions to the people and giving training for cybersecurity, basically industry cybersecurity. So in this case, I'm looking forward to get the good output from the ChatGPT regarding this subject. And basically, nowadays, those solution provider companies already integrating the artificial intelligence in their products. For example, Clarity and Nazumi and all these people. So they are already in. But this type of initiatives are very good, and I can contribute more in this area for the group. If anybody is in similar industry, then it's good for me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Deepak. The quality of the sound was maybe a bit blurry on my side, but I understand that you have lots of interest and you are already consultant in cybersecurity, and you are welcome in the group. And we will be happy to have you in the next step. Okay. Thank you. Can we have Michal? I don't know how we pronounce it. Michal from Poland, if I remember well.
Yes, hi, this is Michal, actually, but Michal is perfectly fine as well. It's understandable. Yeah, so I am fresh out of the Red Team Specialist course here in Poland by a company called HackerU from Israel in University of Warsaw. I took this path because I was stuck in also IT job, but mainly the service management processes work, which was not that technical, and decided to move on to maybe more technical oriented career, and therefore I decided to check out the cybersecurity. And since I'm learning a lot, and when the ChatGPT was introduced, it helped me a lot with learning. Maybe to touch upon something that Serge says, that his students actually utilize it quite extensively, that you cannot tell the difference who wrote it. My usage of it is that when I study, and if I don't understand the concept, my most frequently asked question to is, please explain the concept to me using analogy. So that's what my stage of knowledge with and experience with ChatGPT at this stage is. And I mainly joined this group actually to get in touch with people that do have experience in cybersecurity and also are grasping this new groundbreaking technology, which ChatGPT and AI is. So not much of a contributor at this stage I can be, but who knows? I'll try.
No. Thank you, Michal. But the way you will learn your own job is something interesting, because you will be maybe the first generation to learn cybersecurity through GPT. So we will learn from your way to learn, because we need also We need the same, and we need continuous learning. Yeah,
that's quite possible.
Yeah, so don't hesitate. And when you will put some very good script to also share with us, we will need them too. Thank you, Michal.
Thanks.
Let's move to Azar Hassan.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Azar, and I have around 9+ years of experience into cybersecurity, and worked with multiple organizations, I would say. And how I'm using ChatGPT, I would say trying to fill in the gaps. So the knowledge what we have it, if we are not aware of anything, or if we are missing something, just trying to connect the dots. And it is very helpful, I would say. So that's what I'm using it for now. But yes, it is very helpful. And rather than Googling and going around the multiple blogs and all those things, we can get everything over here. It's just type the question, you get the answer for it.
Okay, so like encyclopedia or learning from asking some questions. So offensive or defensive?
I would say both, because I'm interested in both. Because again, I worked with the different domains as well. Like for example, the incident response or SOC or digital forensic or vulnerability management, and planning for OSCP soon. So again, I would say both knowledge, offensive and defensive.
Okay. Thank you, Azar, for the introduction, and great to have you on board also.
Thank you.
Can we have Amin, Raiki? Amin, if you are connected. Maybe not connected for the moment. Alan, I'm sure Alan is here. Oh, Alan is one of my followers on LinkedIn since long time, but maybe with the time limitation, Alan is not here. Alan used to be very active and sharing. So who is? We have Ajit, maybe Ajit Kumar Bovatoti.
Hi, Julian. Hi, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, myself, Ajit Bovatoti. I have been working on the cybersecurity and information security over 11-12+ years, and I have overall experience in IT in 17+ years. And at this moment, I'm working for banking and finance for VAPT, vulnerability assessment and pen testing. So most of my tools using on the real time is the cybersecurity related information for the banking area. So right now I start working for the oil and gas companies. So now I need to more interested because I'm kid in the ChatGPT. I'm just following up Julian post and other people in the LinkedIn a couple of months. So right now I need to understand how to work with the ChatGPT and how real time. I mean the real life, how this ChatGPT is helping our issues in an area where we cannot able to understand. So let's see, we can move forward to find the way how it is going to go. So that is myself.
Okay, that's clear for us. So lots of experience from pen testing. So maybe we will learn from you also when you will start to use for pen testing the ChatGPT.
And, because yeah, sometimes most I'm looking for the open source tools, and top of that, and I use the commercial ones also. In terms of ChatGPT, it's getting I mean, at this moment it is starting of the thing, but I may not know how to get the information. But only the point of AI information, it's not getting the accurate information. Just it is giving the kind of information where you need to have a kind of a knowledge to understand from the ChatGPT.
That's the way ChatGPT works. I agree with you, but we have some ways to not only have explanations, but also have scripts, like we saw with the demo, and it's possible to get more, and that's the objective also from us, is get the maximum benefit of ChatGPT for our job, as soon as we need that, of course. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ajit. Do we have anyone else that didn't introduce? Thank you. Do we have someone else? No. If everyone that is already connected has introduced, I will send to everyone that was present today a few possible topics that when we can work by team. So regarding to your interest, the idea is to say, okay, if I'm in a team and I start to work on the topic, when I start playing with my script, I will just copy and paste my script in a file. And when the script is good enough, and the other people in the team can get access to the script and they can improve it and they can test it. For the moment, we don't have much tool for collaboration to do that. We have just the Excel sheet shared through Google. If you want something, I don't know, we are at the really beginning, so maybe it's just enough. An Excel sheet, we can make some copy and paste of script is enough. If you want something more funny, or let's say more with a better user experience, we can use a Slack. It's totally up to us. It depends. If the people have like 1 hour to spend or more, we can spend more time preparing some tools. So don't hesitate to give me your feedback. If your Excel sheet is enough, or if you want something more.
Well, to me, honestly, if I may, anything is better than WhatsApp.
WhatsApp makes the people active and connected.
Yeah, but as a cybersecurity professional, I can just not advise it.
I agree.
I'm against it.
I agree. In a way, we are not a good professional to that, but the thing is, I wanted to migrate to Signal, but it was not maybe easy.
I'll join you.
Yeah, we are. If people are motivated to move a Signal, we can say, okay, let's start something.
We're advising multinationals to stop using WhatsApp, and we now use it ourselves. We should be an example, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but of course, any other tool is fine as well.
For the moment, we have more than 100
Slack
people on WhatsApp. And,
yeah.
Okay, so let's keep in mind that maybe a Signal channel. Is there any Q&A? So as a conclusion for today, thank you again for everyone to join, to take your time. I know that the time of each of us is precious. So spending time to listen to us and to give your opinion is super important. I hope that the people that are really active and that love ChatGPT like me, we can talk more, we can be more active together, we can share it. And share experience is the most important thing for me. And we need to be part of the revolution. I think we cannot just close the eyes and say, okay, tomorrow I can do my life like normal. So yeah, if someone wants to say something more, I think we have finished the session. Any question, any ideas? So
thanks for organizing. Good start.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks
Julian,
to everyone.
will you send a proposal for the time and date of the next meeting or whatever is coming up?
Yeah, so the next meeting, we will have a session very similar to this one. I mean, because the slide will not change, because Sunday I don't have the time to prepare something totally new. So the session will be kind of the same, except the demo. We'll have a new demo, something new. Maybe I will improve a bit also some of my slides, and so it's for the second time zone session. For this initiative, as I mentioned, all the people here, you will receive an invitation to participate, like, I don't know if it's a Google chat or whatever, but the idea is to have another session when we have something new to bring. So that's the objective. Prepare something. We have someone that wants to introduce quickly, but the idea is as soon as we have a new script or something new to share, send me a message, and then we can organize a second session. So if everything goes well, we can have a really fresh new session in 1 week from now. That's the point. In 1 week from now, we can have a second session of, let's say, maybe a little less, maybe 1 hour, 15 minutes. And before that, the session for the second time zone will be on Sunday. Are you okay with that?
Great. Thank you.
Thanks for organizing.
Thank you. We have someone that just wanted to introduce himself. I don't know, or herself.
I guess it was Dewa.
Yeah, Dewa, you want to say something before we leave all? You have 10 seconds. We can ask for ChatGPT if we can wait or not. It's not working. Maybe your microphone. Okay. Anyway, next time, no problem, Dewa. You can connect on Sunday. I will send a message on WhatsApp for everyone. Have a nice day, everyone, and don't hesitate. So next week I will propose a new date, and I hope we'll have some good updates from all of you.
Okay, au revoir. Merci.
Okay, Julian. Okay, guys, take care. Have a great
Thank you.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye.